Okay, so welcome to the first tutorial that we're going to make of this studio. Today we're going to work with Blender 2.77. So the first thing that you have to do it is just to erase this square, this cube over here. We're not going to use that. And first of all, let me enable this feature. Okay, so you have to insert two planes. The first plane that is going to do as a raindrop created. The next one it is going to be the floor because, well, in Blender you're like on a 3D world where you are floating around, but you have to keep in mind that you are going to use floor. Okay, so the next thing that you have to do it is to add this particle system stuff. It is located over here. You just have to click new. So basically I will show you a couple of features. If you press play to this part, it starts dropping a really huge amount of particles. Okay, so I'm going to change this a little bit. Actually it seems to be fine. And also if you change this value to a higher value, well, it's obvious that it is going to increase the quantity of particles. Okay, so for this tutorial we're going to work with Cycles Render because it has a really amazing nice features in comparisons with Blender Render. And by instance we also have to create an icosphere, but first I want to show you that if you render this stuff it is not going to show anything. Okay, so as you can see there's nothing over here, and that's basically because render it is not going to render that kind of particles. It has to be some kind of object, and for this object we are going to use an icosphere because it is very similar to a kind of drop. Icosphere over here, and I'm going to put it over here because it not should appear in front of the camera, and I will change the name of this object to raindrop because it is the render model that we are going to use. Okay, so also another great stuff that you can work with this system particle is this emitter geometry. Over here I'm going to change this to -5 because it is going to fall from the sky. Also this random feature it allows that the raindrops don't fall in a vertical way. It is kind of random, right? So 0.5 it seems to be great. We're not going to work with this physics stuff. Also you can check this emitter thing if you want to see this plane, but well, we don't want to do that in this moment. And the important part over here is on selecting object, and I'm going to write raindrop because we are going to use that model and make it a little smaller. 2.3 it seems to be nice. And this random size it is going to allow you to change the size of these particles from one to another. What do I mean? They are not going to have the same size every time. So okay, it seems nice. So if you see, we have a couple of problems with here because there are a really huge quantity of particles that it's over here and we're not going to use it, so how to avoid that part? Okay, so if you change a little bit this view, we can see that at frame 17 it starts hitting the floor. So yes, it seems that it is a good approach. So lifetime, it is the time that it is going to live every single particle. So we have to change this number over here, and so just give it a look. Okay, so now you can see that if we change it a little bit to 17, it starts to die earlier. So okay, that seems great. I'm going to move this lamp over here. And okay, so I'm going to show you how it looks now. We haven't applied any material to this icosphere, to these drops. Okay, so finally we have a render image. As you can see, there are a lot of particles over here that it seems like a kind of spheres, but they have this material that it is not translucent, that it is not making any refraction to the environment. So we're going to work with that. We're going to change that kind of stuff. And first of all, we have to create this environment. I'm going to use this ProLighting Skies. You can search it. We're going to drop it on the description stuff. And this basically is going to create an environment of 360 degrees where it is going to create every single illumination stuff. So we're not going to need this lamp. Okay, so select this icosphere, go to materials, new material, and we're going to work with this really nice feature of a circuit render called node editor. The thing over here is that we have to change this material. We're not going to use this diffuse stuff. Okay, and now what we are going to use it is refraction BSDF, and we'll show you over here. On this moment, this is the material that has this particle. But if we connect this part, you can see it's transparent or it has refraction. Now it has a better feature. You can change these values to whatever you want to make it good, best appreciate for you. And well, finally we have to work with this second plane, with this physics part, to make it collision. Because as you can see, over here we have a quantity of particles that we are not going to work with. So what you have to do is just kill particles, increase this damping stuff and friction. Damping, it is the proportion that it is going to make these particles bounce with the plane. Okay, so now we're going to give it a chance. Just let me show you over here with this render stuff. 3D view, and okay, rendered. Of course, there is this huge block square that is going to appear because we haven't applied enough size to this plane, but you can change that with the camera. I'm going to do it now. But the thing that I want to show you it is that these particles are like real raindrops. Okay, just a little bit closer. Okay, so if you want to get into real detail, you should apply another surface that it is going to be more rounded, these icospheres. But if you are not going to get into the real detail, you are not going to have any problem. Because okay, I'm going to move it a little bit, render it, and it seems that real raindrops, but I'm going to change that camera stuff. So we have over here the camera. Let me change this view to the camera. Right over here. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to scale this one as and make it huge. Also, I'm going to move a little bit this one, make a rotation, sorry, up to the x-axis. Okay, a little bit. Great. So let's take a look to this. Right. So if you change this camera a little bit more and make another rotation of the x-axis, that black square it is going to disappear. But well, you can't make different changes to that. Also, if you do want to get closer to the raindrops, you can do it. There's no any problem with that. and let's take a look with the rendered image. Okay, so now we have 100% render file, and as you can see, it has a really good feature, this refraction stuff. It's like real spheres, but if you have to work with Cycles render, this is one of your best options. There is another way to create this rain with lines, but well, unfortunately we should change to Blender render, and I will change it just to show you that it is not going to create this sky part. Yes, as you can see, it is not going to work if you are using Blender render, but you have to change just that, and it is going to create once again the whole environment. So that's it. We have a lot of raindrops. If you want to increase the number of series and particles that you are going to use, you're free to do that. And you're free to give any comments or give us a like. So that's all. See you to the next video.